working for democracy. But we don't want to do it in a violent way. That is why we're trying to do it in a peaceful way.
It is our last chance to fight for Hong Kong.
It's not that any of this is new. It's where it's happening that has caught the world by surprise. For 10 days now, protesters ranging in age from about 18 to 24 have overtaken the streets of Hong Kong, tempting the limits of freedom promised to this place since it was handed over to Communist China from Great Britain back in 1997. Most of the media outlets to cover this story have described the peaceful protest as being centered over Hong Kong's right to choose its leader, the chief executive, without a say from China. But this isn't about him. It's far more complex than that. This is about young minds fighting for the future of Hong Kong and the right to define who they are. They're railing against corruption, income inequality, and a general sense that promises of an autonomous, free democratic society are being undone at the hands of Beijing officials. The umbrella became an early symbol in this conflict. It's been used as protection from the harsh sun or the pouring rain to the cloud of tear gas. Civil disobedience isn't new in Hong Kong. But the shocking and unprecedented use of force, capped by the release of tear gas on peaceful demonstrators, drew solidarity, unifying a generation and defining the umbrella movement. Beijing does not tolerate dissent, and Communist Party leaders are concerned about the message the Hong Kong protests may send to the mainland. That's of little concern to the students who stood firm when told to stand down.
Tell me what you're doing right now.
We are holding this stand and hold this area. It's the last area of the Hong Kong.
By Friday, day 5, pro-government demonstrators emerged to counter the students. This was the scene in Mong Kok, a densely populated pocket of Hong Kong. The pro-government supporters, visibly older than the pro-democracy protesters, are said to have been agitated by the paralyzing of city streets and services. Some also believe they were a coordinated response by Beijing. The effect was a generational struggle, with students joining hands to form a human chain, many unable to hold back tears. That's where we met Angus, a 23-year-old recent grad who works in financial services and lives at home. He wore this bandana because he didn't want his parents to recognize him on local TV. They don't know that he's part of the umbrella movement.
Okay, let's hurry up. My parents are gonna see me.
You look different without your mask.
Thank you.
We met Angus at his parents' house the day after. He was headed to church before heading to a night of protest in the city center.
My mom always asks me, where am I going? She asked me, so you're not coming home tonight? I said, yeah, I'm not coming home. I'm going to my friend's place.
Do you think she believes it?
She trusts me. Or she just don't want to know the truth.
Like so many of the Occupy Central protesters, Angus didn't anticipate any of this.
I don't care about politics at all, but everything changed since Sunday. I was going to Central just to take the photos, but then the cops who is in front of me, they used a gun to point at us and they shoot the tear bullet to us. I was like, what the heck? What's wrong with the society today? They're using deadly weapon against the student, and I couldn't accept this anymore.
So that was the moment
That
for
was
you.
the moment. If I don't stand up this time, they use tear gas bullets against us. Maybe in the future they will use machine gun, they will use tank. I never know that, like, death is just so close to me, just like in front of me. I believe in one country, two systems. I believe in that. I think Hong Kong is part of China. Right now, Hong Kong is start a little bit turning to dictatorship. Now the government can take control of everything. They control the media. They can even control the internet. They can block the internet.
Like many of these protesters, Angus doesn't believe in traditional media. Tech savviness has been key to the umbrella movement's success. Students are using WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter to spread their message and to communicate with the rest of the world, proving they are not alone. They're also constantly updating a Google Doc to distribute supplies. And they've uncovered new apps like Telegram and FireChat to circumvent government censorship.
If the internet is blocked,
It's down.
then you can use the Bluetooth and then you can find someone nearby to help you.
All of them grew up being able to say and text what they want, not knowing that freedom came with a limited guarantee.
Did you think before you had some freedoms that are now being taken away from
Yes,
you?
we are losing our freedom a little bit by time. If we don't stand up right now, I think we will lose more.
Most of the student protesters here in Hong Kong didn't live through Tiananmen Square. They see their parents as conformists.
So they think that to keep this place in peace can help her to keep making money and can make her to have a good retired life or better life in the future. Right now we are destroying their life.
And they, on the other hand, are idealistic. Willis joined the Umbrella Movement before it even had a name. Like Angus, she's 23, arrested 3 times already for protesting a government she believes is increasingly aligned with Beijing.
I think that this Occupy movement is the biggest one that we have ever seen in Hong Kong.
Her mother is no stranger to political dissent, but is still worried about Willis's advocacy.
She came around, though, when she realized that there was something to the Occupy movement.
I'm a Hong Kong G. I must fight for the government, for democracy.
Willis's case is an exception.
The battle for Hong Kong's future is often pinning young people against middle-aged men and women, many of whom are shopkeepers and street vendors, complaining that their businesses are suffering from the chaos. Both generations have irreconcilable notions of Hong Kong.
Mom and Dad, sorry, but this is our choice, and we fight for not for only us, but for the most Hong Kong citizens. We know there are different viewpoints between you and me, but I hope that you can respect our choice.
It's unclear what the ultimate effect of the Umbrella Movement will be. There's general agreement, though, that regardless of how the current Occupy effort unfolds, what has been unleashed in Hong Kong has forever changed it.
I never seems the Hong Kong things as my things. Just like Hong Kong is, the things about Hong Kong is about my, yes.
It's about you.
Yeah, it's about me, yeah.
Establishing new precedents and a new impulse for a different future. On Saturday, day 6 of the conflict, Angus was running late. He had a church service to attend before he could join his friends at Admiralty, the base of Occupy Central, where a peace protest had been organized in response to the outbreak the night before in Mongkok.
What do you think of the amount of people that we're seeing? The numbers of people?
I think tonight it's packed. It's a lot of people. I think the number has been increased.
So Angus, it's fair to say that you grew up quite a bit this week.
A lot. I actually see the true side of Hong Kong, and before that I think Hong Kong people are not helpful, are not helping each other, are not nice. But now everyone trying to help each other, we united together.
So you could say that you grew up this week, and that Hong Kong also grew up this week.
Hong Kong grew up a lot. We find our identities.
But with that comes responsibility and risk. Unbeknownst to his parents, Angus will once again spend the night sleeping in the street, prepared for another round of tear gas.
Where does your mom think you are right now?
At my friend's place playing around.
How is that going to be sustainable for you, though?
It's okay, we just sleep here, like sleeping on the bed in home.
You could be cozy in your bed, right?
I don't get used to my bed anymore. I get used to on the floor, but now, for now.
Like Angus, many of these young people outgrew their beds this week.
Africans have to stand for something. I think it's time for us to stand for something right now. It's just sleeping in here. It's not a big deal for us. We're young, right? We have a responsibility to change the world. I mean, at least to make Hong Kong better.